All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, this is going to be geared towards the beginner. This is basically, can you do all the photography you could possibly imagine with just two lenses? And the answer is kind of yes, kind of no. There's always trade-offs to everything, and this will kind of help you to kind of make decisions, better decisions of what you're going to do. Now, I got two lenses here, and I've had a lot of lenses for this camera. Well, maybe not a lot, but I've had quite a few. Now, yes, this is old technology. This lens, I don't know how old this lens is, but I know this one I bought new, this one I bought used. I bought this one when I bought the camera, plus another, I think another 35 to 50 or something like that, whatever it was I had. And I spent a lot on the camera, and the rule of thumb is this. Is spend more, buy a little bit less camera and more lens. Now, this is a camera that was the state of the art in 2003, 6.1 megapixels. It's still a great camera. It's still good. It just doesn't have all the bell and whistles of the other cameras. And what you get in this camera, you'd get, double for, a tenth the price almost in the newer cameras. So it's kind of just the way the technology has moved along. Now, that said, when I started, I didn't know what lenses I wanted. Now, what you're going to see on these lenses is different focal lengths on them, kind of at sporadic. Like, why does it go from 18 to 24, then to 35 to 50, skips 60, and goes right to 70? This one goes, 70, then right to 100, and then 135, and then 200, and then 300. It doesn't make sense. Well, it will when you understand, and plus this has a macro feature. It will when you understand that these are usually, when you talk about standard lenses, a fixed focal length where you don't have any zoom whatsoever. Those are usually the lenses you're going to find individually, the ones you're going to find individually. So the telephoto lens is very prosumer oriented. It's very for kind of jack of all trades. It's great for sports and wildlife. There are trade-offs. Now, what I got again is the Nikon 18 to 70 mil, 3.5 to 4.5. So it's not it's an ED lens. So it's not the fastest lens, but it's not too bad. It's fairly good in bright day, no problem. Okay in low light. It's not fantastic. It does slow. Telephoto lenses will slow down your camera. This is a Sigma 70 to 300 with the macro feature. Now this lens is fine during a day like today, no problem. Even when it starts to get cloudy, you start to find once you get near the end of the focal length on this, it does slow down your camera a bit. But that's just the trade-offs. And this one is what you call it. Not 1.4 to 5.6. It's not that fast. Where is it? Hang on. I'll tell you in a second. This one is a 4 to 22, on the aperture. So it's not a very... 5.6 is kind of standard for these lower quality lenses. So I'll do each one of these lenses individually. But... yes, I've gotten it down. I had I think a 24 to 35 mil lens, which wasn't too bad. It was a used lens, and I bought that to start with this, or it was a 35 to 50 as well that I had, and I bought this lens and that lens, and I found I was missing a whole, between 50 and 70. I was missing that. It would be nice just to be able to cover that. And then Nikon came out with this thing, and I was just like, yeah, And I think I either had a fixed 50 millimeter lens or a fixed 35 millimeter lens, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was pretty fast. It was a pretty good lens, and but again, it didn't suit my needs at the time because I needed to be able to zoom. I was doing bands and bars. I was doing weddings and stuff like that. Now, if you're just going to be doing weddings, I would recommend probably a 35 or a 50 millimeter lens if you can only afford one and you're going to go with a fixed. Probably I would say get the 35 because you can move closer or further from your subject, but there's limitations to that too. Sometimes you can't move around, and you're in a fixed spot, and that's where the zooms come in. But in lower lights, those fixed focal length lenses usually do better in low light. So that's why people go with those, and they're usually a little bit sharper too, just on average, because everything is nice and there's no compromise or anything like that. So, all right, so I will review this lens first.